Hey everybody, it's your pal Drew, and I'm back already, and I'm going to tackle some Marvel's mid 70s, early 70s actually, monster books. Some of them had a lot of original stuff, and a lot of it had Kirby monsters towards the end. Uh, in the past, I've been downplaying some of the monster material of Marvel because it was too Marvel. What I mean is, Son of Satan was a superhero who just had a Satan gimmick. Werewolf at Night was a superhero. Except he was a hairy dude. And a lot of them were written by guys who've only written superheroes, so it's kind of a mix there. But when it comes to some of these books, there's some really cool stuff going on. And the original stuff didn't last that long. I've got other issues of this. Some of these actually started off as reprint titles. It's very confusing. But I got these this past weekend at the Atlanta Comic Con, which is run on quarterly, and it's run by Wes Talander, who does a really great show, and he does a raffle, a big time raffle. And let's get to it. I'm really, really happy with the shape these are in. Most of mine are just crap that I got out of like a dollar bin. But, I'm not really one for... Look at that. That's pretty sweet. Little thing there, but that's alright. The thing that crawls. By the way, I love Gil Kane, but I am going to say he had a real sweet deal because when he became the regular cover artist, that's when the format of the covers were trimmed down so much. So he didn't have to go all the way there. It was a lot less space for him to do work. Now this, it's got to be a Frank Giacoia cover. I don't know, maybe, or Senate, who knows? And I love that color. It's like a brownish, purplish kind of. It's hard to tell in the light, but it starts off with a Kirby monster. Excuse me. I just ate some all Love that stuff. Now, a lot of this stuff already exists in reprint form. I mean, this is from the early 70s, but Marvel put out two omnibus books of Kirby monsters, which is just fantastic. So, I'll just zip for this one. And it goes to a Ditko story. Now, they've also done two Ditko omnibuses that cover this kind of, his... I think it was called Days of Mystery or something like that. And then we got, Ditko again. So, I mean, it's all reprint. That's fine, because I actually am collecting these, mostly for the covers, but there are some original stories that haven't been, to my knowledge, reprinted anywhere. Check this out, baby. Look at the condition this is in. And I don't usually fuss over condition, but wow. This is like a 9 point something, I would say, maybe. Who knows? I feel like it's a tiny bit of a spine roll, but who cares? Great cover by, of course, Gil Kane. I'll just say Gil Kane unless otherwise. But, Road to Nowhere. We're on a road to nowhere. Boy, I sing good, don't I? Yep. Leave comments below and tell me how much I sing so well. Now, this is earlier. I don't know who did this. I don't know if it was... I mean, they had people like Russ Heath and other artists doing some of these stories. Now, I'm going to read this one because I haven't read it before. This is before the Kirby Monsters. How about that splash page? Look how the inks on this creature. It's just amazing. I totally love this stuff. And frankly, I kind of prefer Hidden Vampires. This is, by DePresta. I don't know who he is, but pretty damn good. Really damn good. I haven't read these yet, or this yet, but really nice, very different style. But, man, this is in beautiful shape. Wow. Okay, now we get a cover that I swear is Herb Trimpe because of the folds and the posture of that guy. It really has a Trimpe, feel to it. So this is issue, oh yeah, nice shape, golly. Golly gumdrops. Look at the goody gumdrops. And I love this, it's the sacrifice. So you got sort of Kirby goes for the Groot look again, but it's a different story. And if you haven't read the original Groot story, he was a lot different than the one in the Guardians of the Galaxy. But that's okay. Wait a minute. I think who that is. Bear with me, everybody. Bear with me. And this is, I don't know how, the red face. Hard to tell. That's just like a system that they did for stories and what books they would go into. And this is really cool. And I can't figure out who it is. The folds on the clothes, part of it looks like Don Heck, but then part of it doesn't. It's just some of the imagery, but the inking puts me in mind of Don Heck. Like there. But it's very different. I guess because you draw, yeah, okay, the hair in the first three panels there, that has a real Don Heck look to it. Yeah, and this is the cat. Who else? Only the last 3 issues, maybe 4. Okay, Vanished. Who did this? I don't know. I could always look it up, but it's somebody different. I haven't read it, so that's a treat. And I'll probably reread the other stories, the Kirby and the Ditko ones, because they're spiffy and timeless. That's really cool. That's really cool. Really reminds me of the first issue of the Atom in the early 60s, where some other small character was trying to stick him in a bottle with a cork. And love that. That's Kane, inked by probably Giacoya. And we go right to Kirby. Kirby, baby. I'm just this. I'm gonna have to double check. Beware the clicking tots, the ticking clocks. Damn it, Drew. Get your head. You gotta get my head out of my ass to do. Okay, I may have that. Ah, terrific 10. Let's see. I remember those. I was just young enough to. Ah, there's Don Heck, and look how great that is. The fog. He excels at this sort of stuff. The spookiness. And if you're gonna do like fog, you have to really have a good idea where to put it. Like you don't want to cover a face or something crucial. Here is a Steve Ditko cautionary tale. So really neat stuff. It's in pretty good shape, but not like the other ones. But you know, I'm not trying to. I get spoiled with those other ones. And then here we go. Monsters on the prowl. Ah, my gosh, look at that. Man, hardly a dent, and the spine's pretty nice. I think it's got a little bit of spine roll to it. Yeah, I think so. But very little. Ah, we got Oog. Lives again. What's funny, I like this though. He's looking at the reader. I don't know why. That's just kind of cute for a big old fuzzy monster. Oog. I love the old coloring. I love it. I love it. The old floating Kirby heads and caution about the monster. Ooh, I can get me some Elton John, Madman Against the Water, Three Dog Night, Jethro Tull, Laura Nyro. I don't know if I heard of that name or not. Dionne Warwick, Burt Bacharach, Carpenter's Close to You, B.J. Thomas. And that's that. This is a Kirby comic. I tell you what, if I saw this in a comic as a kid, it would really disturb me. I mean, these big fuzzy creatures, that they're not really scary. They're just fun. But it's like this alien that's a doll, and he gets it for his daughter, and it's Urgh, it's so creepy looking. Oops. Oh well. Happens. That's okay. Then we go to I Made Time Stand Still. I don't know who did this though. If anybody has an idea, please leave a comment below. And also, please leave comments of your experiences with these kind of books. If you found them anywhere, if you had like a family member, hand them down to you. Like I've known people with cousins and brothers who've like outgrown them, and so they pass them on. Because back then it was kid stuff. It would, if you're in your teens, you discover Cars and Girls. Having comic books was just not cool. Now this is the rattiest one I got, but I don't care. I don't care. It's a little weird because I love John Romita, but him on horror books just doesn't work for me because it's too it's too clean. It's too like he's got a very superheroic face, and it just, I don't know. It doesn't look very scary like the other covers do. And it has an adaptation done by, get this, okay, Roy Thomas. The story goes that Roy Thomas is also known as the super adaptoid because he's adapted so many books, especially in Conan and other stuff. And to his merit, though, he's done a lot of great stuff that maybe it exposed young readers to something he may graduate and say, graduate up to novels. And Mal Bayerick is doing the pencils, and Ernie Chow, who ended up becoming Ernie Chan for some reason, adopted from the story of L. Sprague de Camp, I think. I know his brother Aide de Camp. So, really neat stuff. But anyway, basically, this guy's a time machine. He's going to use it for rich people to kill dinosaurs so they could have them in their, taxidermied or something. And originally it was going to be a small thing. It became more and more financially, the guy got really, really rich from it. And it's okay. It's a bit inconsistent in some ways. So, this blonde guy, he decides to go out on his own. He's like, screw you. And it's like, the time machine, you can't go too far from that. So, very tasteful, like, so he shoots him. Do. So it's more like everybody's reacting and they're overreacting. I think, the story itself probably had a lot more nuance to it, but this is a Marvel comic and it wasn't even a whole issue of the adaptation, so it comes off as everybody's nuts. And so here we go. Oh, love this. Jerry Conway and Gil Kane with Tom Sutton as the anchor. Yeah, baby. From a story by Keith Laumer, copyright 1960 by Galaxy Publishing Corp. And a lot of these won't get reprinted. I mean, because they have all these estates they have to deal with. There was a Tower of Shadows hardcover, oversized book that I loved. It had the Steranko story in it, of course. And however, there were two stories that could not be reprinted because the clearance from the estate that had the story's adaptations, they couldn't clear it, so it was incomplete. So I was kind of glad I kept my Tower of Shadows issues. It's like only the first 6 or 7 issues have original stuff. So yeah, Gil Kane, he was just really on fire. And Tom Sutton, I totally dig him. Foom, Friends of Old Marvel. I actually bought some of his stuff online, but again, it was like I got this. Like, I got books that came out the same month, and I was like, yeah, but I didn't really have the money. I was like, I could buy, what was it? I could buy 8 to 10 comics with that amount. In fact, was it 20 cents still? Yeah. I was like, I ain't giving up that many comics for something like that. Outdoor career. Yeah, I don't do outdoors very well. For me, camping out is like going to a really cheap motel. So, Geraces have never been known as outdoorsy types. So, no. So, got some more good stuff going on. Oh, I love this one. Get in here, Bill. I want to talk to you. You punched in 7 minutes late. I'm ducking you an hour pay. And you better not happen again or else. Oh, yeah? Well, screw you. I got news for you, Mr. Bemis, or Beavis. I've got a new job offer with a real future at twice the money. Ha! Anybody be crazy to pay you that much. Folding his arms. That's what you think. I've been learning electronics in my spare time at home from CIE, and now I can take my pickup jobs. You gotta be kidding. You in electronics? Yeah, now I've got a career. CIE makes it easy, so good. By to you, goodbye to you and your crummy job, you rotten bastard. I don't know why. Fumetti always cracks me up. Especially the first one. I would have talked to you. Now, here we go. Here's my creme de la creme, as they say. If you're French and you have a lot of phlegm in your mouth, that's how you say it. You know, Journey into Mystery. Boy, did I luck on this. Now, how about the condition of this bad boy? Yeah. Not to mention the beautiful Gil Kane cover. And they did a color hold on that. I'm trying to think who inked it. I like how this guy's like stumbling too. They're not just, and they're different postures. They're in different poses of running because sometimes your legs get ahead of you and sometimes you almost trip like this guy. I'm trying to see who did that. I guess I could look it up, but I'm not certain. But it's beautiful. It's a story by Robert Bloch. I'm sorry if I don't, author of Psycho. And again, this is going to be like, it's questionable if this will get reprinted. And part of it is, will Marvel make enough money from that? And second of all, the estates, they'll be like, well, it's kind of, nickel and dime stuff. I don't see the point in us sharing this with you and reprinting it. So that's sort of where we're left. No, we got Ron Goulart, writer, who's also a comic book historian, who's written some Marvel stuff. Gil Kane and Ralph Reese. Ralph Reese is... I don't know anything about Ralph Reese, but he did a lot of stuff around this time, 1972, and I don't know if he just stepped into comics for a couple years and then stepped out for whatever reason, maybe scratched that itch. Well, it's based on a story by Robert Bloch, 1943, by Weird Tales, 1945, blah, 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 blah. And it's got the Meredith Literary Agency. So you got, Roy did some incredible stuff with this adaptation, but it just, nobody back then, in, say, 1972, had any concept that these books would be reprinted. I mean, the Kirby Monsters, yeah, but this, that was done without permission from any estate. And, years later, nobody knew trade paperbacks were going to be a thing, and also hardcover collections and all kinds of formats. I don't even know if this is available on Kindle. That's a good question. I made a good question. I don't have a good answer. But if you have answers, please put them down below. Let me know what you think. But Ralph Reese is just really, he's got a great ink line. And it's uniquely his. Then we go over to George Alec Effinger, writer. I've seen that name before. And Billy Graham, the artist. Billy Graham co-created Luke Cage Power Man. And hold on a second. And he was one of the few African American artists on mainstream comics at the time. He did the first year and a half of Power Man, and he also did some jungle action stuff with T'Challa. And he's done other stuff too. And really exciting stuff. Frankenstein is live and well. Let's see what they back it up with. How about this? This is how crazy it was between now and then. Too skinny? back in the 70s, there were a lot of people that were too skinny. And it boils down to there wasn't that much fast food available. It was sort of a treat. Second of all, people would, we want to protect kids now and all this other stuff. And so kids don't really go out in the woods like they used to do. I mean, you sort of have to know where they are. And thirdly, a lot of people were smoking back then. So that suppresses food. It suppresses your appetite. So that's the bad one. That's the thing that a lot of people were smoking back then. So here we go. The Girl Who Wouldn't Die. I think that's, I'm thinking of Mystery Science Theater, The Brain That Couldn't Die. And is there a signature on here? Maury Lawrence? I don't know. I'll have to ask. Really cool stuff. So, anyway, I'm so happy about that. That's so neat. And it's issue 2, but so what? But anyway, let me know if you've been collecting these also, what you think of them. Do you only have like the later ones that reprint just the Kirby stuff? And, how do you, I don't know how to, just leave any comments you want, let me know if I turn you on to some of this stuff. It's semi-obscure, and it's not really expensive at all. I mean, it really isn't. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this, and tell me if you got a whole bunch of them, or if you got any holes in your collection for them. There's other titles too that I can't recall. But yeah, for a while there, these kind of books were doing well. Like I said, the semi-superhero ones like Son of Satan and Werewolf by Night were kind of, they were basically superheroes in, scary form. But then, there was Marv Wolfman and Gene Colan's long, glorious run of Tomb of Dracula. That is, was the exception to the rule. So that's it. I just want to show off this. I don't really have many comics at all that are in this shape, let alone, something back then. So, hey, let me know below what you think, and just say whatever comes to your head if you recommend a book, or if you can help me with some of these creators that I have question marks for. I'd appreciate it. And anyway, enjoy your day. Just don't have nightmares about this guy. I sound like Mario from, not Mario Brothers, but Mario and Fafa, Glove and Boots. So, take care.